There we go. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. We're all over the place. We are so excited to be in front of you on this Friday or Saturday, wherever you are in this beautiful world of ours. I am one of the several hosts that are coming to you today. My name is Christiana. I am COO and partner at We the Plug. We the Plug is a now it's hybrid. So we're in person, sort of, kind of, but still online, where we work with early stage founders from ideation all the way to first seed round funding. How we do that is by connecting folks to resources and services that are in the startup space on a global level. So if you're in rural Ohio, yes, we have connections there. And you can find us online at We the Plug. That's THA, not THE.com. All right. So you all, you know why you're here. You're here to connect with some phenomenal people. The founders of BlackFacts is in the house today. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. It's been exciting, actually. This past week has been an exciting time for us. We get closer to Black History Month. Ken and I are finding ourselves extremely busy.
Is it the countdown? I feel like I feel
oh,
there's pressure of countdown
you,
time.
I am
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's busy. It's a good kind of busy because, thanks to the transformative year of 2021, the folks at Fund Black Founders and Crowdfund Better who taught us to engage people and get out in front of the camera, and that's why we're even doing this. We've been connecting with more people, and we find over and over again that once people see what we have, they're interested.
Right,
And
right.
so yes, and so schools, especially, we're pushing to help folks understand that there are Black technologists who have Black history information that is ready to show up on your website, your school, your company's website. So your Black History Month project, any issues with that? Solved. We got you.
I love it. I love it. And we also
Right.
have our other fellow. Let's see, is his mute button on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, it's on. All right. We also have in the house our other fellow guru of brilliance, Martin. Welcome to the stage. How are you doing, sir? Oh, nope, it's still there. Okay, Martin,
can't
we
hear
can't.
you anymore.
Nope, it went away.
Yeah.
That happens
You might have
sometimes,
too
you
many
all.
mics. Too
Yeah,
many
it
mics.
happens sometimes. So while Martin gets that figured out, we're just going to keep the ball rolling. You all know we come to you every Friday, or if you don't know, now you know. We come to you every Friday. It may be different folks that's in these boxes, but we will be in front of you all. Again, the idea is to inform you about all the fantastic work BlackFacts is doing. We're celebrating 25 years. 25 years. Gentlemen, does it feel like 25 years?
Well, my back is telling me yes.
Well, yeah. Right. Well, yeah. And you know what? And what's so funny about that, Christiana, you always remind us that, you learn new things or whatever. So,
Every time.
while we haven't started selling these in our swag shop yet, like our Black Facts Matter shirts, we
Come
have
on.
these buttons, Black Facts Matter buttons, that are actually 2021 versions of, this is from 97, Black Facts Now. Those
Wow.
who were back in the day might remember the Netscape Now slogan. So Black Facts Now was sort of similar to Black Facts Matter, somewhat of a play on something that you've heard about, but this is about Black technology.
Correct. Yeah.
So this is a 1997 version of our first promotion.
And all of that can be found online, correct? We can go to the website and find it, or is it coming?
The buttons, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. We're not selling these buttons yet.
Not yet. Okay. So you all keep a lookout for them. Make
Right
sure.
now, the only swag, if you go to blackfacts.com/swag, you'll see our t-shirts.
Yeah. I mean, even
And
that.
soon we'll be having hoodies and sweatshirts before, hoodies and mugs before
Mugs.
Black History Month.
Right,
All
and even
right.
those, we just have the BlackFacts Matter slogan shirt. We already have this other design of the Harriet Tubman 20,
Oh,
but
nice.
that's not available yet. Yeah.
Not yet. All
And of
right.
course, we've got to do one for Maya Angelou,
Right, because she's
Yeah.
on the money
because
already.
she's on the money too. So
There we go.
We love it. We love it. We got Montreal chiming in from Facebook. He said, thanks for sharing, Noops. All right. It's some of your brothers.
Oh, one of my
Martin.
grandfathers. Okay.
All right. All
Martin.
right. Martin, how's the sound? Do we have you back?
I think it's good. Tell me,
Yep.
you guys hear me? Okay, cool.
we can hear you.
And welcome.
Yeah, it's blessed to be here. Just surviving the pandemic, surviving the 3-month-old. It's about the same thing, So.
Yo, comparing a 3-month-old to the pandemic is
Pandemic,
spot
I'm like,
on.
all right.
It is spot on. You just literally gave a whole listen. Wow.
No, but you know what? We're gonna edit that out. So when she's older, she'll be like, "Daddy, why you saying?"
No, she needs to hear that. She need to hear that. She needs to know what it was like, so that when she comes with that attitude, she'll check herself and be like, "Wait a minute, they were there for me. They were there for me. They picked me up." Now, we appreciate you, Martin, for being here. I was just mentioning before we kind of got into the live that I had joined the Black LinkedIn last night on Clubhouse. That's the group.
Yes, thank you.
You want to talk a little bit about that? It was really very informative. It was the workshop was writing 101. If I am,
Yeah, we so Black LinkedIn is a group on LinkedIn, and we do a Tuesday night room that's usually private for members of the club on the Clubhouse app. And there's 2 different places. We're on LinkedIn, and then we're on Clubhouse. It's an app that lets you do social audio. And on the Clubhouse app, there's about 4,000 members over there. And on LinkedIn, we have about 1,000 members. And so we do our kind of meetings on Clubhouse, and they're usually private during the week. This one, because it was publishing, and I wanted to get the replay. With Clubhouse, the app allows you to record whatever you're talking about in audio space. So it's like blog talk radio. Some people use Anchor. It's similar to that. And so this week's meeting and then next week's meeting is going to be about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, depending on what you're doing. So those rooms will be open to the public. But usually during the week, we have private rooms just for us, just for the kind of the association. On Sunday, we do something called Sunday service, sort of. And it's for Black professionals to come in and talk and just unload and talk about the impact that, a lot of us may be going through with I call it the Great Reset. The media and the corporate America is called the Great Recession. I'm sorry, Great Resignation. But I think people are not resigning, people are resetting, or they're recharging, so either Great Reset or Great Recharge. But with that comes a lot of angst and a lot of issues. And we're seeing more people move up, in this year, a lot of job shifts and more responsibility given to folks. So that means there's more stress, and it's not really a place for Black professionals to come and talk and to listen to other professionals. I'm really excited. Someone just had, they had their senior vice president and the executive vice president ripped away from them. And then they've been put on a different team. So I'm going to reach out to, I call them the Holy Trinity of Black corporate women. These 3 women were senior vice presidents at Time Warner, and they retired. And they used to hold court in New York. They wrote a book called Little Black Book Success. And those 3 sisters are in our network. So I want to introduce this sister who feels kind of scared to these 3 sisters who have this great knowledge of how to navigate the C-suite. And that's what we really are about at Black LinkedIn, trying to connect, or not trying to, but connecting Black professionals to other resources or other folks who've been there. And even though, this is brand new territory for a lot of people, corporate America is actually saying we owe Black people. Corporate America, yesterday I was at Target, and they have a Black History section. I don't know if anybody's seen the Black History section at Target. And there's Black History greeting cards. I'm just waiting for that white coworker to send someone a Black History
greeting card. Thank
Oh,
you so much. Thank you, colonizer.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Yeah. Hey, Martin, what is the name of the book again? I missed it.
The Little Black Book of Success.
The Little Black Book of Success. And speaking of books, you and your family own a bookstore. Can you talk a little bit about that too? Let's plug that in.
Sure.
To get back into books.
It's Sisters Uptown Bookstore. My cousin and my auntie own it. I'm just a worker. But no, we really want to make sure that this business is there for the next generation. So my aunt has semi-retired from the store, and then my cousin, she has 4 children, and her youngest, I believe, is 2.5. And so I'm coming back to the store to help out with the digital side. And really, we've had a huge amount of traffic since the pandemic. Most independent bookstores are doing pretty well. It's just juggling, employees and so it's on 156 in Amsterdam, in Harlem, and it's been there for 23 years. And so we're looking to do more online virtual things. And a lot of book companies, Simon & Schuster, Penguin, Random House, they come to the store to ask us to be the bookseller for a Black author doing some type of event. Mm-hmm. And so we're doing more of those type of events where we go out and into the community. We have a book club that's attached to the store, been around for a very long time also. And then we have the children's reading hour. So, it's nice to have a family business that, is well utilized by the community.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for plugging that. Again, you all, they are based in Harlem, but you can go online to order if you're not in the area or if you're not able to get down there in person. All right. So let's keep this show going. I know that Dell and Ken are eager to share about the BlackFacts. We have some fun facts going on, which I didn't know. Again, you guys, I'm learning just like you all are. But Ken, you want to take it away and share with us, what is the Black Fact of the day?
Right. Well, first, answer your question at a high level. What is the Black Fact of the day? The Black Fact of the day is one of the unique things that BlackFacts provides to the world, where we've got, for every day of the year, we've got Black History, a video showing some Black History events. So today's Black Fact of the day, which if you just go to blackfacts.com, just go to the homepage, first thing you'll see is our video on our Black Fact of the day. And today's fact of the day is on, we'll just let it go.
Young folks will not really understand how important these shows were for a young Black man, to see faces of our people on television. And Sanford & Son was back in 1972. I actually had just moved to Maryland
for Black
with my family. Is something playing?
It's fixed.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Keep going. We're good.
I had just moved to Maryland. My parents, I was from Jamaica, and they lived in Philadelphia until they got married. But when we moved to Maryland, and we lived in what wasn't called the projects back then, it was just an apartment complex, right? But we lived in one of those apartment complexes with a big court in the middle, and the apartments were all around the outside. Those of you in the know, you know what I'm talking about, right? So we lived in that area, and Sanford & Son was one of my dad's, favorite shows. And so, it's really nice to see when you come to BlackFacts, you get a unique Black historical fact every single day. Some of them you may know about, some of them may be a random birthday, and some of them will really surprise you. And if you follow us on social media, you'll get our regular posts. And of course, if you join and become a member, you'll get an email of the fact of the day in your inbox every single day.
So I didn't realize how prevalent this show was. I didn't know that it came before the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons, yep.
I thought the Jeffersons came first because I thought that it was based off of the characters that showed up on
All in the Family.
All in the Family, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Another cool fact is that even though this show aired almost 50 years ago, it is still in syndication all these years later. My nephew, who was 3 years old, was on the couch watching it with his dad the other night. Right. So, I mean, it's still impactful. It's still a family-friendly show. I mean, 3-year-old being able to watch something nowadays, that's not always, available. So it's really nice to be able to see that happening.
Also, I think in general, one of the ways you can tell, world according to Ken, one of the ways you can distinguish real art and talent with things that were just like mad dashes for cash is that real art is timeless. Real art speaks across the generations and many times cultures or whatever. And trust me, on a regular basis with things going on in the world, I quote the sage wisdom of Red Fox. You big dummy.
Or the other one, I'm coming to you, Elizabeth. What is it?
Right, exactly.
I'm coming.
Exactly.
Man, good times. I see Montrell left another comment. He said, I say daily how I wish our youth had more Black sitcoms to navigate the routines, demands of everyday life like we did. Wow, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Well, because today everything about reality TV and its ratchet real wives of whatever, and and while those draw eyes, they don't put forward any message or I know that Bill Cosby is viewed negatively, but when his show was on,
it was very impactful. Yeah. We can't take that away.
And so a lot of the shows you see today are what you can say, mad dash for cash, whatever is trending, and is put out, not necessarily something that's a message, especially a message to our community.
Right. And what's funny, Montrell had posted a link, earlier, basically recognizing that we happen to be in the same fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, which had its Founders Day on the 5th. Dale's fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, had its Founders Day on the 9th. Delta Sigma Theta was yesterday. Alpha Kappa Alpha, is coming like tomorrow, and Zeta Phi Beta on the 20th. Interestingly enough, Grady, who was in here, was one of me and Montrell's fraternity brothers. But yeah. And so in January, for whatever reason, a lot of the predominantly Black fraternities and sororities, had their Founders Days. But also we've got Martin Luther King Day coming up, and were we going to share the video on MLK, Dale?
I don't know if we're going to play the video, but I wanted people. Part of our goal here is so that you understand the wealth of information available. So don't go off of this page yet.
Oh, okay. My bad. Let me go ahead.
And each time that we have one of these shows, we'll let you know what the fact of the day is. But at the end of the day, anyone can go to blackfacts.com/today, and not only will they see what the fact of the day is, but they'll see a calendar layout so they can see the fact for any day. And we are the only source on the internet where you can get a video for every single day of the year. If Ken were to tab across next to the month of January and you want to see something in February, you want to track down your birthday, every single day except February 29th, we're working on that. We have a unique Black historical video. And this is something that we want to make sure our audience is aware that this is a resource. This is a free resource that we give away to the world, because part of what we want to do is first to inspire our youth. by letting them see themselves in history and see the achievements of people of color. Second, to engage our community, because Black folks need to know that we have done so much and they need to share what we're doing. And third is to inform the world. We need to let people know about who we are and what we've been doing, and and be able to pass those messages on. So I just wanted people to know, as they come and watch our show on a regular basis, hopefully, these broadcasts, that every time we do one of these shows, we want to give you a little nugget of knowledge, but we also want you to know that this is a resource that's available to you. And we'll talk a little bit later on how you can get this resource available to your schools or your businesses. Now, I will tell you this. In January of 2021, we did not have videos. We had just begun the idea of creating them. And we have gone from 0 to over 700 videos. And it started with our Kwanzaa video series. And from there, we began to realize that, our social media following really gets captivated by, informative and inspiring short videos. And so we began creating them. And the first full-length video we started our little Black History Heroes series. And the Black History Heroes are like usually well-known people, past and present, that have really inspired us. And anyone who goes to that page will see people that they know. But our very first Black History Hero video was Martin Luther King's video, which it turned out that became the launching pad into our really investing more in creating inspirational and informative video shorts, not just on our Black History Heroes, but on all different topics. And so when you come to BlackFacts.com, if you click on, Black Historical Videos, you will see all our video series, and you can explore to your heart's content. We now have schools signing up daily. We have schools signing up to subscribe to our Black historical content. We just are working on a American Black history, because we actually, in our educational series, we cover, historical events going all the way back to African empires. But we realized that there was, and our audience is predominantly United States, that there was a need to really showcase Black historical events. So we identified 31 key events that occurred in American Black history, going back to 1619, all the way through post-slavery, separate, not equal, Washington Carver and Du Bois, Marcus Garvey. There's so many different topics, and we're not quite done yet, but in time for Black History Month, all 31 of those videos will be available. And this is what schools and teachers are reaching back out to us and saying, hey, we love this, because the kids today, they don't really want to read an entire history book. And if we can give them a short video, and all of these videos in this timeline are 2.5 minutes or less, that tell a story, we can add that as part of the lesson plan and engage them in conversation and ask them questions. And then they'll have a reason to say, you know what, I want to learn more about this. If we just say, open up a textbook, it's not happening. And remote learning, being able to have a video short to engage the students and something that teachers can actually play at the beginning of the class is really helpful. And that's what's happening today. If you go to blackfacts.com/schools, you can subscribe. That's really, the metamorphosis from, gee, it would be nice to tell people about Kwanzaa, to, oh my goodness, we are the Netflix of Black historical videos. You will not find any source like this anywhere on the internet.
And you know what? While the educational aspect, for anyone who, whether you are Black, you've got kids, Black folks in your family, or you're just interested, from an educational perspective, that is hopefully, pretty obvious. At the same time, from a diversity perspective, there are a lot of businesses who have an interest in promoting diversity. And Dale has a saying, so I won't try to quote it because it's in his head, about diversity and inclusion and awareness information, but we also, as Black History Month is upon us, we are trying to make sure that folks who are looking for Black History Month programs will know that literally 2 minutes with 2 lines of web code, you could have any of these videos on Black history showing on your company website. So
Yeah,
I mean, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was just going to say to Ken's point, actually, to both you and Ken's point. One, I had just pitched, I was on a call with a client the other day, and they were sharing that one of their son's companies in Santa Monica, not Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, is a mostly white and Asian company, and they're looking to really beef up their DEI, and they didn't know where to start. And so one of the few Black employees there took the reins. But one of the things they were wanting to do is kind of have content coming in. And literally, because I knew of you all and what you all offered in regards to the widgets that can be embedded, I was like, look, the work is almost done for you. And that's, I think, one of the great benefits of what you all are doing is you're really helping to simplify access and reduce barriers. And then to your point, Dell, with the school system, I think because teachers are able to not just show the videos, which kids are already engaged in that area, but then they can go home and share it. I was working with my 8-year-old nephew, and I was talking to him about BlackFacts, and he just gave me these big wide eyes, and I go, oh, here, pull it up on YouTube. You have YouTube on your TV right now. Literally, he's like, whoa, I didn't, totally changed the conversation from being a one-way street where I'm doing the, Charlie Brown teacher, wah, 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 wah. Now it's flipped, and he's the one saying, oh, Aunt Tina, da, da, da. So anyway, I just wanted to chime in and do a testimonial to you all.
Thank you. No, that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. It's about engagement. I will tell you this, that, the saying that Ken was talking about is the first part of inclusion is being informed. You see, if you are informed, then you understand what the other person is going through. And if you understand, then you can be empathetic. I can't be mad at someone who has quote unquote experienced white privilege, because as far as he knows, that's how he lived his whole life. No one said there was anything wrong. In fact, I wish there was Black privilege. At the end of the day, if you've lived your life and things have always been open to you, it's like if you're a beautiful person and you happen to always get discounts and, people always let you at the front of the line or something, that's just normal for you. But if you are informed and can understand that these other cultures have had challenges, have overcome those challenges, that they have people that have done inspiring things, that they have invented things that you didn't know about, that they have written books that you may even refer to but don't realize they were created by. You had cataract surgery and didn't know it was a Black woman that invented that. There's so many little things that if you're informed, it becomes relevant.
Right. And you know what? Dale, speaking, as you've got 3 cisgendered heterosexual men on here, we have a lot to learn from the Black women in her story and the LGBTQ plus pioneers who have gone through things that we never even have to think about. That's what privilege is, that you don't see it. You don't recognize it exists. That's just your normal, And to speak to Christiana, when it comes to the kids, one of Ken's sayings is that when you realize that you stand on the shoulders of giants, it is easier to see yourself from a higher place. And in conventional education, from the history books that have been written by the colonizers and the oppressors many times, you're not going to see the greatness of where you come from and the incredible achievements. And that's what BlackFacts is about, to share it. All you got to do is go get online, click, sit back and watch.
Can we get that saying on a t-shirt, by the way, about standing on the shoulders of giants? I got an image instantly in my head of that and what that would look like. Martin, can we have you chime in a little bit about what this means to you, and especially if you could highlight more about, because again, we're constantly talking about online, but we could have the duality of written print, right? And that was what really spoke to me last night during the Clubhouse session, but the importance of books and writing and reading in conjunction with this very much online presence that is the wave of the future and where we're going. Can you talk a little bit about that and how this ties into this whole world we're talking about?
Sure. Probably had maybe 5 children's books in 2004 that were we could highlight in the bookstore. And I'm happy to say last year at least I met 60 new Black children's authors. The average cost to create a children's book with the illustrations and the time and getting the hardcover done in China, because there's not very few hardcover printers here in the United States anymore. That is usually anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 investment just to get the book done, and then to print them, probably like 100 will cost you maybe $5 to $7 per 100. And so the average person is spending almost $6,000 to create a Black children's book. And I mean, I just happen to have a book right here. This is something that this author created something called the Friendship Tree. You really can't see it because of the background, but she had to redo this book because when she got the copy, she didn't really, the children's image didn't really feel like it spoke to her. And so when you talked about, I think you said your nephew, and you were able to take them to BlackFacts Matter. I'm sorry, BlackFacts. That's the hashtag I'm using to promote the live. So I've been posting a live all over, with the hashtag BlackFacts Matter. But when a young person can see the image, the representation of themselves on a cover of a book, children's books are full color, and you're flipping the pages and you're interacting with this tactile experience, right? It's also, as was said many times, it's important to be able to go to TikTok or to be able to go to Facebook or go to Instagram, LinkedIn, and to be able to share, hey, this is the Black fact of the day. I remember a couple of years ago, maybe also more than a couple of years, probably like 5 years ago, there was a company called Push Black, and they were pushing out facts through what was called a chat bot in people's Facebook inboxes, and it was going viral. And then what happened, for me at least, was that a lot of the facts, once the first cycle goes through, like the first, 40 or 50 times you see something, at that 51 time or that 67th time, it's like, And Black people and people in general, we have a digital attention span is very short. BBC says on their website that it was 7 to 8 seconds, the same amount of attention span as a goldfish. But that hasn't really been research, so that we don't know exactly, but we definitely know the other number was 12 seconds. So, you have this disposable generation, disposable content. And one of the things I love about BlackFacts, or even Black history in general, just to be honest with you, Black history in general is so beautiful, is that the more you dig, the more questions come up. So if there was a Black guy that did the gin press or created the cotton gin, or the Black guy or woman that created a traffic light, or it was a Black woman that created the first hair curler, well, who created the grease? Well, who created the gear to that the gin runs on? Or who did? And so you go down, they talk affectionately call it going down a rabbit hole. But in Black history, what I think Ken and Dale have done well is to look future forward to, and I'm actually, my term for Black History Month is Black Future Month, to look at the future of content being categorized in moments and your birthday, so the date of the day. And then you can search also by subject matter or affinity group. And as BlackFacts grows, my prediction for the next 5 to 10 years, is the way in which we will engage with the content of facts. And that's another thing too. we're in a misinformation war right now with two different countries really targeting the United States, but targeting Black people in particular. And so one of the things that's going to be interesting as BlackFacts expands and as it moves into education and becomes a source for facts, as has it been already, but in a larger degree, there's going to be a moment where there will be also facts of today.
Right.
So a fact of today is that we have 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds who are certified farmers, licensed barbers. And that content, to your point about a book, one of the things I see is that places that where people go to, they don't do it with Wikipedia so much, but we know people do it with other sources. We have to find credible, verified, trusted sources for information. And so books refer in the back of the book, we have credit.
Right.
So I see with my community, the author community, really turning them on to BlackFacts and saying, did you search for this on BlackFacts?
Mm-hmm.
And then
you know what?
BlackFacts as the source for that.
And you're touching on several different things. I'm like, right. As I am the mad scientist who built the technology behind everything. So, would just want to, I don't know what happened there. Stream went off. So when you go to BlackFacts, you on the homepage, you see things that happened on that day in history. So we've got databases. We pulled articles from, historical things, and then the news is a whole nother section where, when you look at an article like this one, on Ernest E. Just, you will see other stories around common people, places, events. And this rabbit hole has no bottom because we've got over 500,000 articles, where what we just showed the blurb here, and then if I find one that is not directly from, but most of the historical stuff is coming straight from us. But on the news, if you go to Black News, we're pulling news headlines from around the world, over 200 sources and 35 countries. Like you'll see, like this is U.S., this is something from Trinidad, this is from Haiti. You'll see some African flags. Here's Malawi. Where St. John, where what we're doing is pulling in info, just the headlines, on these various Black publications from around the world, where you'll see it has like the little dot, because to see the entire article, you got to go to their website where they can make money on advertising, because we're not trying to take their business. We're trying to put them in front of folks who would never know that they existed unless they came to BlackFacts. And the entire system is based on technology that we created, control, and own. So if you ever wonder, because I've heard of Push Black, I don't know who's behind it, but trust and believe, BlackFacts is Black owned, coded. It is our proprietary platform we call Timbuktu that we are using to. Another one of our phrases is, we are creating the future of Black history and protecting our culture on a tech platform that we created, control, and own. So, Zuck, you doing your Facebook thing, that's cool, and whoever's running Twitter now, that's great. This is our story. It's our house. So anyway,
I love Ken, how you always are able to bring it back to what's most important, which is for us, by us. And you made a couple of references in past live sessions where you say there is no exit plan. It's with us, it's staying with us. And I think that's really important, because we too often are focused on looking at how we can get this off to someone else. Uh-oh, you had something pop in your
No,
head.
no.
I don't want it to go away. What is it?
No. I forgot because yeah. There is no exit plan, but this
Christina, I love you.
This is our first NFT in a test thing because we're going to be creating NFTs because that is the future. That's part of the future. We are making sure, just like in 1997 when we launched BlackFacts, when a lot of Black Americans were first starting to go online, and we wanted to make sure that folks, when they showed up, that they would see something Black on this new internet thing. Mm-hmm. Well, as the metaverse is evolving, we're going to be here. Black folks going to be here in full effect. We're going to be, I'm on the learning curve like everyone else, but we're figuring out ways to create content that will be visible in various virtual worlds and all. So that's yeah. So we got that. We are planning now, and not planning, doing now, to make sure that we're going to be in the future, our stories by our people. So that was the thought. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it ties into exactly where I was driving this, which is the reason why there's no exit plan is because we have everything we need to stay at the forefront of the wave that is riding us into the new millennium that we're going into, that we are fully equipped to carry ourselves there, that we don't need someone else to do that for us.
And you know what, maybe rather than saying there's no exit plan, I think it's more accurate to say our exit plan is not, sell this to a white media company or go public, as much as, find some younger Black folks who can take this thing to the next level, right? 2 weeks, I'm gonna be 59, right?
Congratulations.
So,
come on.
We want to see some Black folks. But doing this, we have other ideas like Christiana, blackpeople.com. I had that as a social network app idea since 1999. I got a 35-page business plan. We want to connect with other Black folks who can understand the importance of us being in control of our destiny. Martin,
Ken said 39, right? He said 39.
No, 59.
He
Martin,
did.
I got to apologize that, because I'm feeling guilty about the fact that I haven't moved forward with the authoring software that you turned me on to, but it's because I'm just all over. I'm going to be writing a book I call Techie Chagwalia, Black Self-Determination Through Technology. And that's what we're looking to connect with other folks who understand the importance of us using our technology to control our future. So that's y'all know y'all got to shut me up. So let me drink some coffee.
And on that note, Ken's mic is muted for the next 5 minutes so that
right, exactly.
Dale can correct a lot of things. Dale is like, if Time Warner wants to partner up, $100 million, and we'll take it. And Ken will go create Black People Meet, and I'll meet Ken over at Black People Meet.
No. We'll be happy to sell or license the Timbuktu content engine so that they can use it for whatever, as long as we retain complete creative control over Black people's info.
I see Ken looking. I see Dale looking like how Sanford and Son.
Right.
Look just like Red Fox when Lamont was talking about, hey Dad, so this new thing we're gonna do is, and he would be sitting in the chair looking like this. Lamont.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All
right. Tech.
On the real though, we have really tried to build something that's lasting because sometimes, especially as you get old, it's about legacy. What are you going to leave behind? And what impact did you make on the world, while you were there? And we did not know that BlackFacts was going to be impacted. I think Ken started it so he could learn how to program a database, right?
Exactly.
That was, we did not know that it was going to become something transformative. Yeah. It was just an idea of something special. And you can't know that there's a possibility if you don't see it. So we're trying to show the next generation that there is a possibility, that you can build something and it can be owned and controlled by people of color, by us, and it can also be quality. And it doesn't have to be in the music industry. Right. And the funny thing is that half the time, those of us in the music industry, we don't want to control anything. We just are artists doing what we do best because Black folks can create, but then it's almost always owned and distributed by somebody else. Mm-hmm. We're trying to say, hey, look, if you see anything on BlackFacts, it's ours. Right. And we want to actually engage our audience because we want content creators to come to us. We want you to showcase your artwork on BlackFacts. We want, in 2018, I did a campaign and I had to stop it. We did a campaign where we said on Instagram, we were giving away money for the best Black History Month video, where all you had to do was just, create a video and have hashtag BlackFacts Matter. No, BlackFacts 365. That was the hashtag at the time. And we could search for it and see, the videos. And students came up with some really amazing ideas. We think that as a platform that we control and own, that once we begin to engage in schools, not only is this site for them to learn, but also for them to create, for them to produce, for them to showcase the things that they're doing, because it's the next generation that's they're creating. It started with Vine, like the 7-second video, and I was like, how the hell can you create a video in 7 seconds that means anything? And now everyone, TikTok and all these other platforms realize how, but I remember when Vine came out, people thought it was stupid. But today's youth could take 7 seconds and create something amazing. Yeah. And what we want to be able to do is, as BlackFacts evolves, we don't want to just be a content aggregator. We want to be a source where our people can come and create. They can write their own blogs. They can tell their own news stories. They can do their own videos. But now it's showcasing to our audience because we have that.
I got to interrupt you because something just came. I had a Ken moment. And I don't want to forget this.
Okay.
This is one. This is gonna. No, I'm like Lamont. I mean, like Sanford's. I'm Grady. That's me.
Okay.
So I'm Fred. Hey, Dale. You know how I call you 2:00 in the morning, Dale. Hey, Dale. You know what we should do. And so when you were talking, what hit me was when you talked about what touched me. Really was the imagery of the young people. And I've had that experience numerous times, but in person and less on a small scale. And the most impactful thing for the young people that I dealt with, these were middle school kids at the time. I taught them A+ certification to repair computers that we sent to Gambia and Ghana in late 90s. And then the kids in Gambia and Ghana, I went with the UN development programming to set those computers up, and they were able to log in with 286.386. We turned a 286.386 into a Pentium with software that only used the boards of the computer versus the way that Windows was set up. And this was a Boston company. I forget the name of the software company. It was in Boston, but it was a Boston company that was trying to compete with Windows. But what was really interesting was these, 30 kids, let's say, they really were geeking out on them being able to, dial up modem. So, kids in Africa could dial into the computer here in Harlem at this one middle school, and they would come by during the week. And the teacher would tell me, "Is Mr. Pratt here?" And she was like, "He only comes on Fridays." "No, he's not here. He ain't here." Like, why are you? They had a little lab set up and stuff. Mm-hmm. But that was that start, when Darian Dash and Al Gore were going around the country talking about digital divide and all that stuff. Darian had hired me to come and teach him how to speak about digital divide because I was adamant in New York. I was known as a guy who who's always on the LIB talking about, we got to buy computers. We're going to be left behind. You don't understand, you know. And so anyway, what just came to me, Ken and Dale, was that we should do something called BlackFacts Fridays. And what that would be is that the founders, or we call it BlackFacts Friday, Founders Friday. And the founders from BlackFacts go on live to this private net, we call it intranet, that the schools get access to. So you have this private network. And in that Friday conversation, you can do exactly what you said, Dale. You could ask for what would you like to see? So ideation, one. The other side of it is, I don't think there's been a school network ever that showed Black anchor. They have these, the school news networks that were CNN and Scholastic had and all that crap. They had Black kids, but I mean, Black adults were never piped in unless you were Carl Lewis or some famous person. But they didn't see a person like their grandfather, your uncle, or their auntie or whatever. Talk to them about being success in the regular world, whether that's a retail location like we have as a bookstore, or it's working for Time Warner, or it's just being a college professor. But that is another thing. Once you get established, maybe 5 or 10 schools, is to create this network that's intentional about going live just to your clients for Founders Friday.
I will see you and raise you.
I'm about to raise it higher, but go ahead.
I will see you and raise you, because here's an interesting thing. Your boy Carl, who talks about doing things with the schools. As we get a network of schools together, and I have someone down in Atlanta, and she's actually reaching out to a bunch of schools. She's at Delta, and so she saw the Delta video, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, I got to share this." But she's already scheduled a meeting next week for me to present to a bunch of schools and teachers that she's collecting the information from. But the idea of us having a standing broadcast that is by invite only to talk about, how do we inspire our youth, and how do we get their thoughts and feedback, and allow the schools and teachers to engage so they can ask their students what their thoughts are, could be really powerful, especially during Black History Month, because we can all be virtual. They can be home, teachers can be home, wherever is going on. If every Friday in Black History Month, we have a session, and maybe it's not private because we're just getting started, but if we do something where we find a way to connect with a school and some teachers, and they become a part of the audience or participation, just a 30-minute whatever, it can actually have a growing following if we do something along those lines, in my head.
So okay,
another one. I'm
gonna take that even higher. Okay, so you see on the screen, this is an upcoming project. Our BlackFacts Say Their Names, our digital multimedia memorial to Black folks who've been victims of racial violence, where we go back in history, up to modern times, where we've got the stories around their, how whatever had happened, and news stories, etc. I say multimedia because people will be able to record and play back, speaking the names to remember folks. But in the context of when I say take it even higher, Martin, you're familiar, with the term API, application programming interfaces, and you know that systems around the world are run by these APIs. Well, BlackFacts we've built our own APIs. And for example, one of the ideas that we have had for a long time is to enable students to create their own applications using our content. So they would call some of these different APIs to create, say their names entry, to post news stories, etc., whether it was showing on a mobile device, a tablet, whatever. So this is how we think. This is how we do it, where we are building infrastructure to use our content and present it out there. So that's why I said I will take it a step further, and then to simultaneously throw be like, yeah, that's cool, and throw a little shade. You mentioned Darian Dash, who had I forget what the company was, but who I was never crazy about him flying around with Bill Clinton and Al Gore, because he wasn't a legit tech person, and no one's heard from him ever since around that same time, because we put Boston's empowerment zone online. That's how I ended up with this picture, because we are the real deal. We have been there since the beginning, and and unlike the folks who have come and gone, some sold out, some disappeared, we're still standing, we're still here, and we are the ones who are taking, using our technology skills to bring our people into the future, to make sure that we're telling our stories. We're in control of our narrative. So there you go.
Well, drop the mic on that.
Right.
BlackFacts for schools on the way out, Dale?
I think I want to really focus on schools as part of next week,
Okay.
because I actually want to play our Black historical timeline, because I think it's really powerful, the Black History in America timeline video.
Okay. I'm teasing with the HBCU Showcase series, but which we don't have time to talk about today.
We're not going to talk about, because we're only 5 minutes left in the show. And there's definitely a lot of things that BlackFacts is involved with. We were just in a meeting the other day where we're talking about how to deal with the unbanked,
Right.
and how BlackFacts can help folks that are only going to Cash App and the check cashing, stuff, how we can leverage technology to help them be able to get banking, because part of the reason why we don't get proper funding is because we don't have bank accounts, and so there's so many things where the technology that we're building can be transformative, and we'll be covering those in future sessions.
Okay. Which timeline, Dale? Because we've got a bunch of them.
If you go to the BlackFacts/America, that first
one.
Oh,
okay. That actually is the easiest one.
Exactly. This is what we're going to talk about in our next, because I want to play this timeline at the beginning, because it tells our story, and I want to do a full screen play of this is what's happening. So not going to play it now because it's 11 minutes long.
Right.
But, sneak peek, you can actually see it on BlackFacts right now, but we cover from the Middle Passage all the way through with key Black historical events. And I think it's important, it's powerful, it's what schools have been really excited about. And we hope our audience will enjoy what we're showing now and what we'll be talking about next week.
And not just showing, but we're always advancing our technology. So we actually
1619, slavery comes to North America.
So
the first Africans to reach.
So we've got AI generated narration that behind. We're always adding new stuff because it's what we do.
Well, I definitely think this is important for when you talked about the unbanked. I have a contract with the Federal Reserve Bank to promote their new book, which is about Black banks and the need for Black community banks. So they focused on 5 cities where Black banks were established. And in having that conversation, I really was able to see what I don't know. And also the significance of how Black bankers, Black men and women that decide to establish these banks, how they did it is un-effing believable. And so I think that this template you have that you're showing right now, if we can take that template and, maybe instead of the BlackFacts color to brown, make it a little green or something like that. But if not, just keep the same color, but just take out this history and drop in the history of Black banks.
If you give us the information, we can create the video.
Yes.
It's incredible.
I actually don't know the history of Black banks. So,
And it's a free book. They're giving away the book. You can download it for free, or you can have it shipped to you for free. So they're all about. So it'd be great to. This is a second. And it's the thing about the Federal Reserve is every region has its own. So this is a Kansas City bank,
Okay.
the Federal Reserve Bank.
Right.
The Omaha one has history of Black women in America creating businesses. So I think that, I can see when I saw it, like, ooh, I can see a nice conversation with the Fed on Black history.
We are in conversations with, some trades unions. We want to do series on everything from inventors, folks in law and politics and medicine, all these sort of things. Our biggest gating factors is that you're looking at,
two folks.
two folks who are behind.
No, I'm looking at the AI. That's what I'm looking at, according to Ken.
Yeah. But there's still the AI. You give it some words and it can talk it. But I'm saying, this is also video production and all. So we need to connect with folks who can do some of these things. We need folks to buy our T-shirts.
I was about to say, what's the call to action, Ken and Dale, as we're wrapping here? What is it?
Listen, folks, we only ask you to do two things, really. Ken was talking about buying our T-shirt. That is great. But if you go to BlackFacts.com and sign up to our newsletter, we don't spam you. You might get something once a quarter. Sometimes if something exciting during Black History Month, you'll get something more frequently. It's free to sign up to our newsletter. If you are a school, then go to blackfacts.com/schools and see what we're all about. And if you are an organization who celebrates diversity and is looking for intersectional content, we already have series on Afro-Latino, LGBTQ, inspiring Black women, Caribbean. So almost every month of the year is some kind of cultural month. We're actually doing a series on Native Americans. And so more and more content is being added regularly. Go to blackfacts.com/diversity. Check it out. Find out more about what we have to offer, because I believe that anyone that sees what we have will realize that there's value there and that there's an opportunity for them to actually help spread the word about how impressive Black history and Black culture really is.
And on that note,
that's it for today.
We say thank you all for tuning in. Links have been added in the comments section. Please do share them. You all know the call to action. Follow through on it. Thank you so much, Dale, Ken, Martin. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time today. Had a lot of notes, like literally, I'm over here taking notes.
Thank you, Christiana.
You
Martin, one thought, but when you mentioned the digital divide, we haven't scheduled a date yet, but Brother Larry Irving, who coined the phrase digital divide, he agreed to come on our show. All right. All right.
Stay tuned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay Black.
Oh.